Okay, I want to share with you today my 2 biggest tips and rules for social media. I have a whole workshop that I do that goes into the top 10. You'll have to wait for the next one that's coming around, but I'm going to share with you my top 2 biggest tips and rules for social media. Let's do this. Oh yeah. Okay. Tip number 1 is the biggest rule that I go by. All of my interns, all of my team, we have this as our number 1 rule. And you'll know why it's number 1 because of what it's going to help do for you. The biggest rule, the biggest tip that we have is to ask yourself these 2 questions. Number 1, how does this post help my fans to get to know me? Think on that for a moment. How does this content that I'm sharing help my fans to get to know me? And the second question is, how can I use it to start a conversation? Now, you might be wondering, Kate, why do I need to share about myself? Why is that important? Well, the reality is so many music social media platforms and profiles are basically just a promotional catalog. It's like a supermarket or a hardware store catalog, and they're just promoting the items that they have for sale, the events that they have. If I look at, and if I get that catalog in the mail, if I'm not interested in it, chuck it out, delete that email, skip on past, and I get on with the rest of my life, the things that I'm actually interested in. Sure, it may look professional, but you're actually at this point not reaching out to professional people. You want to build relationship and connection with the average Joe Blow who lives down the street, who's got a couple of kids, who works a 9-to-5 job. And the way that you do that is by not promoting something, not selling something, but by connecting with that person and helping them to get to know you. You know why? Because when someone knows more about you, guess what? They're going to like you. They're going to connect with you. They're going to feel an affinity with you. And when they like you, they're going to grow to trust you. And that's how we build a brand. That's how we build a business. That's how we build friendships generally as well. And connections and relationships is know, like, and trust. But if all you're ever doing is promoting your next gig, there's no knowledge of you, there's no information, you don't build that know, like, and trust factor. And the other thing is more than just saying, hey, look at this, is about me, see you later. No, we actually want to start a conversation. So if you're going to tell a story about a childhood memory, a place that you always go on holiday, we always camp here at Easter or at Christmas, we also want to ask a question that's related to that topic. So it might be, where did you go on holiday? Or how do you feel about camping, love or hate? I personally hate camping. So I would be saying like, okay, we go to a resort or we stay in a caravan park or something. Whatever the story is, you want to ask a question. For example, if I'm sharing about the fact that I love coffee and my drink of choice is always a flat white with full cream milk. Of course, if you were sitting, getting to know someone new, you would be asking them, how do you take your coffee? It's so simple to start a conversation. And so important that you actually ask your fans and your audience to share their thoughts, because that's what you do in real life. That's how you build connection in real life. And so if you just drop a fact and walk out, there's no reason for them to stick around. But if you're asking a question, they're way more likely to respond. I'll use the example that I'm a bit of a cat fanatic, and I posted a picture of my cat, Fonzie, who was my previous cat, and R.I.P. Fonzie. And I just said, hey guys, here's a picture of my cute cat. Maybe why don't you post a picture of your fur baby too? And on Facebook, I had over 60 people post photos of their own animals. 60 people posted photos of their animals, birds, cats, dogs. I think there was even maybe some rabbits in there. And then there were more than 250 comments back and forth from me to them, each other, talking about their animals, talking about where did you get that climbing frame from? What kind of toy is that? Where was that from? And it was this wonderful engagement. It actually told me that my audience really loved talking about their animals. So I make sure to not only post about my animals, but I always ask a question. I always ask them to share, and I comment and engage with them as well on the issue of animals. So that's my biggest rule. How does this post help my fans to get to know me, and how can I use it to start a conversation? Okay, and my second biggest rule, tip number 2, is to use the THINK acronym. Now, you may have never seen this before, but it's pretty prevalent out there on the internet. And basically, it's asking you to consider whether the content you're about to post is true, whether it's helpful, whether it's inspirational, whether it's necessary, and whether it's kind. The reason this THINK acronym is so important is, if you look back at, say, Facebook, when it kind of first started, I was an early adopter of Facebook. I think I joined in 2006, so really early on. And it used to say, Kate Westwood is, and then leave a blank. And you, in your status update, you would say going to the shops, or feeling tired, or excited about the weekend. And it was really asking us to share how we felt about something or what we were doing at the moment. But now it asks me to share what is on my mind. And it is telling me that every thought that goes through my mind deserves an audience. And I think that that is bad advice. There are plenty of thoughts that go through my head that I am very glad that no one knows about. And just because I think it doesn't mean that that's actually what I believe, or, I've been upset with family members, but that's not actually how I feel about them. It's just what was happening in the moment. And so it's really important that you literally think through what you put out on social media, because just because it goes through your mind doesn't mean it needs an audience. Every opinion you have should not be shared on social media. And things that are really important, you should talk with real life people and have a real life discussion. Don't do it on the internet. That's Kate's 5 cents about how we approach the internet. All right, they're my top 2 tips for social media and how we engage on social media. I hope that's been helpful. If you love what you're hearing, why don't you click on the subscribe button below, and make sure you click on the bell to get notifications of any new content coming out. If you have suggestions on what I can talk about here, make sure you click on the feedback form, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.